Hey everybody, this is Molly K. Got an interesting story for you that came out on the 14th, but I want you to pick up it because it ties into some old stuff that most people don't know about, most Black people in particular. And it's important um, because as we awaken and as judgment happens and as this nation falls, Black folks know white folks like to retaliate, period. Them folks love to retaliate. They're not going to go down without a fight, and they're not going to take responsibility for what they've done. They are going to lash out, and we know who the number one target will be. Additionally, slave labor is the foundation or the bedrock of this country. And as you look at this nation deciding to repeal laws that are meant to protect the environment and keep everybody safe, there's going to be an uptick in crime because stupid people who don't know that they are pawns in a game are going to wild out and think they're getting away with something. But it's all a setup because what's going to happen is things are going to get so bad and they're going to institute these laws, these federal laws, because eventually, whenever the bad thing happens and they institute martial law for the whole country, there won't be any local or state laws unless there's a fight and some states decide to secede from the nation. The federal government already has plans for us, and I've been saying this for years now. They have plans for us. They're not our plans, and their plans to do us harm, not do us good. So I'm gonna read you the stories in the Rolling Stone, and it's about Trump and why you need to be careful and pay close attention to who's coming back into power for 2020. And I will say this politically, it doesn't matter who wins because white supremacy wins, the hidden hands win. So you can go in a voting booth and vote for whoever you think is going to save you from calamity or this cataclysm of things that are getting ready to happen. Nobody's going to save us. Everybody's on the same team. Trump plans to bring back firing squads, group executions if he retakes the White House. The former president wants to expand the use of the death penalty and expand the federal government's options for carrying out death sentences. What do you think of firing squads? That's the question Donald Trump repeatedly asked some close associates in the run-up to the 2024 presidential campaign. Three people familiar with the situation tell Rolling Stone. It's not an idle inquiry. The former president, if reelected, is still committed to expanding the use of federal death penalty and bringing back banned methods of execution, says sources. He has even, one of the sources recounts, mused about televising footage of executions, including showing condemned prisoners in the final moments of their lives. Specifically, Trump has talked about bringing back death by firing squad, by hanging, and according to two of the sources, possibly even by guillotine. Now, I want to sit right here for a minute because y'all know during the Obama administration, they ordered guillotine parts. So these people are ready to open up their little FEMA camps and sling us in them and chop our heads off. They are ready to do harm to us. And you know, they ain't talking about doing nothing to white people. You know the history of Donald Trump and his disdain for us, even in our innocence. He's always looking to do harm to us, especially black men. So I want to talk about this because they also mention God in this article. So it says he also sources say discussed group executions. Trump has floated these ideas while discussing planned campaign rhetoric and policy desires, as well as his disdain for President Biden's approach to crime. So anytime they start talking about crime, you know they're talking about us. Anytime they're talking about punishment as a result of crime, they're talking about us. So this is why we need to pay attention to what is happening. In at least one instance late last year, according to the third source, who has direct knowledge of the matter, Trump privately mused about the possibility of creating a flashy, government-backed video ad campaign that would accompany a federal revival of these execution methods. In Trump's vision, these videos would include footage from these new executions, if not from the exact moments of death. The former president believes this would help put the fear of God in violent criminals, this source says. He wanted to do some of these things when he was in office, but for whatever reason didn't have the chance. So while Black folks, in particular Black men, are talking about, oh, Trump wasn't as bad as this one, they all bad. And that's what y'all need to get in your heads. Ain't no good nothing coming out of this country for us. And I hope we understand that it doesn't matter who's in power, they're all going to be sanctioned to kill us. A Trump spokesman denies Trump had mused about a video ad campaign. More ridiculous and fake news from idiots who have no idea what they're talking about, the spokesman writes in an email. Either these people are fabricating lies out of thin air, or Rolling Stone is allowing themselves to be duped by morons. Trump's enthusiasm for grisly video campaigns has been documented before, including in an anecdote from a former aide that had the then president demanding footage of people dying in a ditch and bodies stacked on top of bodies, so that his administration could scare kids so much that they will never touch a single drug in their entire life. Y'all don't really understand what these people are saying. If you have not, I'll just say, read the book. Oh no, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna say what he's saying are plans that the federal government already has, and it's well documented. It's well documented. There are a few videos on YouTube talking about it. I'll give you a lead where you should start, and it's called King Alfred's Plan. It's an old plan. It's been revised, but these things that he's talking about in this video, I'm sorry, not in this video, in this article, are things that are already prepared to be done whenever the hidden hands say it's time. And so I find it interesting that as the society collapses, as we have this threat of war, and we have these civil disturbances happening more and more, crime laws have been repealed or are being ignored, that suddenly there is a call to do this. And he's saying stuff I'll just say he's saying the quiet thing aloud. Don't sleep on it. Do not sleep on what he's saying, especially you Black men. If you got young Black sons, y'all need to pay attention to what this man is saying. It doesn't matter if he's the president or not. He's telling you what powers the federal government has, and that is what you need to pay attention to. If he does not do it, another president will do these things because it is already planned. So, with that said, pay attention to what these crazy Saxons are saying, because the Saxons not they have a job to do. They owe people, and in order for them to keep their lives, they got to take ours. So, with that said, please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my Rumble and Odyssey channels, just in case I'm yeeted. And just make sure you're paying attention to what these people are saying, especially when it comes to crime and these new ways to prosecute crimes, because they are always about Black people. At the end of the day, they're always about Black people, always about Black men. We are hostages in a domestic violence situation, and until we are delivered from our captivity, we must be aware of what our captors are planning on doing to us. So, with that said, I'm out.